Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Thanks very much for joining us. We've got a great podcast ahead for you today. I'm really excited to have a very special guest on. His name is Christian Wray. He's the CEO of Canyon Hill Developments, and I'd like to bring him onto the show right now. Christian, thanks very much for joining us. How are you?
Very well. Thank you. Thank you for having me on today, Roger.
Yeah, my pleasure. We had a great opportunity to meet last week at your place up in Eugenia. We had a great conversation, and I thought you'd be a really great guest for this podcast. And among other things, one of the things I was really impressed by in our conversation was your work in sustainable development. I think our readers and our listeners are really interested in sustainable development. And I thought that might be a nice way for us to introduce you and to kick off this podcast.
Yeah, thank you. I've been very active in the sustainable investment community now for just over 15 years. I started in the industry by building a large renewable energy company. Spent 13 years doing that. We built large scale utility solar, wind, and battery technology in projects both in Ontario and actually we ended up taking that globally, and we had projects in Africa and Asia. But it's really through that work that I became familiar with what it means to be a sustainable investor and developer. And in my latest venture here at Canyon Hill, we're taking the same approach to real estate development.
Fantastic. And can you speak to some of your developments at a high level? Where are you guys operating right now?
Yeah, so we have 5 projects under development now through Canyon Hill. It's a relatively new company formed earlier this year. We have 2 projects in Ontario, one in Flesherton that we'll speak more about today. Another one just north of Barrie. And then we have 3 projects now going on in Nova Scotia, where we're doing net zero residential communities. So some very exciting work kind of across the board. All of our projects have a sustainability angle to them. So look forward to talking a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So what would be the overarching philosophy of Canyon Hill?
Yeah, I think it's for Canyon Hill, we want to be involved in real estate projects where we can add value both from the capital standpoint. So we invest and we raise capital to make projects happen. And then on the development side of things, we try to develop projects efficiently. We try to bring a sustainable angle to each of those projects so that ultimately the communities and the people that live in the buildings that we build enjoy them and get the benefit of living in a sustainable way.
And I think that's great. And I'm guessing, but I would venture to say that isn't par for the course for all developers.
No, I think there's quite a wide range of different techniques when developing real estate. Everything from the very affordable, where frankly you just can't do all of the same things you can if you're prepared to spend a little bit more to make buildings and the power sources and the materials of the building. If you're willing to make those sustainable, there is a cost associated with that. So we note a range in the market of different developers doing different things, but our mantra has always been to focus and promote sustainability.
Okay, great. So I got to tell you, I'm super interested in your project in Flesherton, but I have to ask you, you're from Toronto. How did you ever hear Flesherton? Because I grew up in Toronto as well, and I had never heard of Flesherton before. Tell me your connection with Flesherton.
Yeah, I think like most people from Toronto, when I mention the name Flesherton, I usually get met with confused looks on people's faces. But I think for those that have discovered the beauty of Flesherton and the Beaver Valley area, it's anybody that's spent a lot of time up there has become very passionate about it. And so I hope more of your listeners take the time to check it out and see all that it has to offer. But we became knowledgeable of the area through some good friends of ours that invited us up to go try skiing at the Beaver Valley Ski Club. And so I have a wife and 2 daughters. And we were invited to go up to Beaver Valley for the day. And so it just started with one set of guest passes at the club, and we absolutely fell in love. We got to stay up there and see the way of life for people that were making up the trip on the weekends, and having the nice fires at night, and having the social aspect of the ski club. And we just thought that was something that we wanted to incorporate into our lives. And so we joined as temporary or there's a trial membership that you can sign up to. We signed up for that and became members, and now we've completed 5 years there. We rented different cottages each winter until last year. We actually bought a piece of land and built our own house up there. So that was where we met last week, and it's a beautiful area, and we will love it for years to come.
Yeah, Flesherton's great. The Beaver Valley is fantastic. Great County is a wonderful place to live and to raise a family, and certainly to visit or to staycation. So I would imagine then that you were inspired so much by your experience in the Beaver Valley that you wanted to develop a parcel of land in Flesherton.
That's right. We became aware of a parcel of land about 1 acre in size in Flesherton, just in the town of Flesherton. And it's a vacant piece of land that was zoned for multi-residential use. And so we started having conversations with the town, and eventually ended up buying the property. And we're in the mid stages of development now. The aim is to do 10 townhomes and to make those available in the rental market. There's quite a shortage of availability of rental units. So we're hoping to add to that stock and do so in a way that adds some really exciting property to Flesherton, which mainly consists of houses that have been there for a long time. There are a few other townhouse developments that are going on in the area, so we're not the only ones, but we hope to bring that sustainable angle and an exciting project to Flesherton and break ground next year.
Yeah, that's wonderfully exciting, and it certainly speaks highly of Flesherton. As you know, and some of our viewers know, I now live in Flesherton, and so it's great to have new projects and new housing capacity coming onto the market, especially in the rental market. What is really special about this development?
Yeah, I think just the nature of the type of housing accommodation that will be available, from walking distance from the town and some of the local schools, the proximity to the ski club. We're still in the planning stages of what exactly the townhouses will look like, but we will look to incorporate a zero carbon framework to the project. So similar to the house that I recently built, we'll make use of things like heat pumps, and we'll try to keep it just to electricity. So no propane, no natural gas, obviously in that area. But we look to add it'll just be different from what the stock is available now. Right.
No, that certainly would differentiate it from what else is available. That's fantastic. And I think it's really great that you've chosen Flesherton, that you have that connection to Flesherton and the Beaver Valley. And I think you are very emblematic of a lot of the people who read the magazines that I publish or listen to these podcasts. So people with one foot in Toronto and one foot in Wray County or the Blue Mountains, in this case, the Beaver Valley. And, if people wanted to find out more, Christian, about what you do at Canyon Hill or this particular development here in Flesherton, what's the best way for them to reach out and get in touch with you?
Yeah, there's a mechanism to reach out to us through our website, which is at www.canyonhill.ca. That's probably the easiest way to be in touch with us, and the contact details for us are available online.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. That was certainly an interesting conversation. And again, I think it bodes well for small towns in Ontario like Flesherton to have people like yourself investing in them. So thank you very much again for your time, Christian. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.